I saw where they're going to go ahead and go forth with the Star Trek 4 in the Kelvin timeline. J.J. Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
They confirmed that in February, correct? Was that
Yes,
February?
I believe so.
Yeah, and I also saw the other day where they're not going to include Anton Yelchin because, unfortunately, he in a really freak accident.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
His car slipped out of gear and backed over him.
Mm.
And unfortunately killed him. He was only 27.
Yeah, so
young.
Yeah, and he was wonderful at playing Chekhov.
He was
in the first 3 movies, and so they said they're not going to recast Chekhov for it. So, be interesting to see where they go with that. What do you guys thought about the Kelvin timeline and that the J.J. Abrams Star Trek universe?
I first got the exposure to it from you, actually, Brock.
Oh.
You were the one we had we sat and we marathoned it. Do you remember that?
No. So that's because I'm middle-aged.
That was the first time I had seen any of them. We sat down and we watched them. I think we spent the whole day watching them. Yeah.
Sounds like the cheap date that I'm in favor of.
Hey, I like just being at home and watching the movies and
That's true.
sitting on the couch. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, my daughter today we were about to take them back, and she just got a driver's license, and she's like, I cannot wait to go to all these places this summer with my friends and drive around and stuff. And she goes, is it wrong to be that excited? I said, no, I was excited too when I turned 16 and got my license. But now that I'm middle aged and in my home more than often, that's where I prefer it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get out, especially around Birmingham with these people who drive on the interstate. I'd much rather just stay safe at home.
But I like that timeline. I don't have any issues with it. I like the stories that were told through that timeline.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just an interesting take on another way to view or to see these characters, and I enjoyed it.
For me, I've really enjoyed them. Like I said, like with you guys, it got my wife to watch Star Trek. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one came out before me and my wife started dating. But then as we dated, she got excited because she likes Benedict Cumberbatch. So when he was cast as Khan for Into Darkness, and I was excited about it for it also, just because I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. And like I said, I know people have their genuine complaints about it because it's Star Trek in a different way. Like I call it rock and roll Star Trek. It plays more loose and fast, but I like it. 2 of my favorite characters in Trek, Scotty and Dr. McCoy, are played by 2 of my favorite actors with Simon Pegg and Carl Urban. Carl Urban, I love his McCoy so much because it's him, but he's also just doing so much great reverence to DeForest Kelly's version of McCoy. McCoy's just so good to me. Like I don't know why. I guess also because he's technically a Southerner. I mean, McCoy's from our neighboring state of Mississippi. So, but I mean, I've had a lot of fun with the Kelvin timeline movies. I think Beyond is probably my favorite because it's the most Trek-ish of the 3. That's just to me. Like it like that's the thing about like I don't know. Like I said, Star Trek is so much better in a long series format like TV, like they're doing. But for me, like I said, I liked it. I'm looking forward to it because like I hope of course they did tease I guess the Enterprise A at the end of Beyond for spoiler warning. Movie's been out 7-8 years now.
Yeah. And for the video version, I'm holding up the USS Franklin from Star Trek Beyond.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But before we venture off elsewhere onto the Kelvin timeline, Carl Urban, didn't you try to hug him one time?
I did hug him. I've got
You have a man crush on him, don't you?
Yes, he is one of my man crushes. Yes, he is. He is up there. He's up there. It's with him, Russell Crowe, and oh crud, I feel bad. I'm forgetting his name right now. Played Deathstroke in Arrow. Oh, I feel bad. My brain.
Oh boy,
Manu
Bennett.
Manu Bennett. Yes, that's terrible. Yes, I don't know.
He's the one that gave you the stink eye when you did it, though, right?
Urban did. Manu was very happy to give me a hug. So that was very cool. I'll have to find my picture with me and Carl Urban. It's probably buried here somewhere. I'll find it and that'll be something to share on the Facebook. But yeah, my picture with Carl Urban, he was just very unsurprised. I was like, hey, can I give you a hug? He's sort of like, yeah. And he's looking at the camera. So I have 2 great awkward pictures with Star Trek actors. I've got that one with with Carl Urban, and then my photo with Patrick Stewart. He was very unready for when they snapped the photo, so he's very like mid conversation with me. So that's my Star Trek memories.
It's kind, I guess it's kind of like everybody who went out to the Ghostbusters Fan Fest a couple of years ago, and they had all the pictures made with William Atherton.
Those were the
and was just looking off in every direction, or has some sort of what's that smell look on his face.
It's like you see the different expressions or where he was looking in different shots, like in everybody's Fan Fest pictures. It was hilarious. And then somebody I'd seen where somebody had cropped together like different shots of him from the various photos that people had assembled. So it was like, a little collage of his faces doing all different kind of things. It was hilarious.
Yeah, Atherton's one of the guys from Ghostbusters I haven't met yet. I really want. He's up there like with the Grail for like he's up there with Murray for the people I want to meet and associated with Ghostbusters.
Oh, wow. That's
like, just because I like Atherton, just because he plays the perfect 80s man.
He had that roll down pad. He was kind of like the Williams Zabaka of the 80s movies. They kind of had that typical character that they played in anything they were in.
From Ghostbusters, Die Hard, and then Real Genius. Those 3 movies solidify him as my favorite, like pain in the neck of the protagonist of movies.
I love Real Genius. That's one of my favorite movies.
I'd never seen that movie till me and my wife started dating. I don't know how I missed out on that. But like we watched it and instantly I fell in love with it.
It's fantastic. It was like I always wondered if I ever had the chance to meet William Atherton, if I'd either wanted to take him a fruit basket or some popcorn.
Yeah, that's for you. You got to do the popcorn. Come on.
Yeah,
she's not going to share popcorn.
I would share it with William Atherton. I would.
Wow, that's an honor. That's an honor.
The man's a legend in the 80s pop culture. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, the first Star Trek movie from J.J. Abrams had Chris Hemsworth as Kirk's dad, and that was before he took on the role of Thor and all the other things he's done. Why is this? Kevin from Ghostbusters Answer the Call. Why did I let that slip my mind?
I'll reserve comment.
Nobody answered that.
Anyway.
But I loved that movie, and I thought they did a really good job with it. Star Trek Into Darkness. Yeah, I see people's complaints with it being so much like The Wrath of Khan, but it's got Khan in it. And Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, I love that man. He is exactly 1 week older than me.
Wow.
Exactly 1 week. And I have exactly 0.01% of his wealth. Actually, no, I don't even have that much. But he has earned every bit of it. He's fantastic. I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming out soon.
Oh, man.
I love Benedict, but,
and getting to see that trailer on the big IMAX.
This is why I'm excited for everybody on the video version. I'm holding up my my Wanda Scarlet Witch action figure. Yeah, this is why I'm excited for that movie. Give me more Elizabeth Olsen, please. So, but no, Benedict did a wonderful job as Khan. And one thing I saw the other day, and I don't want to spend the money on Funko Pops.
No.
Yeah. But there's a Target exclusive Funko Pop set that is the reactor room and Kirk and Spock from
I did see that. Yeah.
From the Wrath of Khan. Not
I saw that.
It's
the original movie.
It's Shatner and Nimoy, and they've got their hands in the Vulcan salute pressed against the glass. I have been and always will be your friend. How in the world they turned one of the most heart-wrenching moments in Star Trek lore into a Funko Pop set is beyond me, but I'm glad they did, and I have to get it. It's a must get.
There are exceptions to the pop rules, and I would think that warrants an exception.
Yeah, that scene rips my heart out every time.
Oh man, I've watched Wrath of Khan a million times, and it's still it's.
See, and I've been dying to get my kids into Star Trek. We showed them the Truman Show for the first time this past weekend. They had never seen it, heard of it, or anything, and now Alyssa's like, "Wow, this is one of my favorite movies of all time." Now she loved it. I'm trying to get them into the stuff that we really enjoyed growing up and all. And she wants to see the Star Trek movies, but I won't let her until she gets a little bit of the shows, the episodes of all the, at least from the original series and Next Gen under her belt.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, because that moment between Kirk and Spock in Star Trek 2 will not resonate as heavily unless you see some of the original series and see that bond that those two have.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, say what you want, I don't care. It's just like Star Trek Generations, why that movie is in probably my top 10. And I know people don't like it, and I don't care. It's Kirk and Picard together in a movie, and you'll never shake my love of that. But I want to show her that movie so badly. But she doesn't know, Data's emotionless struggles.
Ooh.
And then he gets his emotions chip, and then you see Kirk and Picard meeting. And that moment was so pivotal for me, being such a massive Next Gen fan and an original series fan. Just seeing those two on screen together was just mind blowing when I was 18 and I had just gotten into the Air Force, and I saw that movie. That's still my most viewed movie ever in a theater. I saw that movie 7 times in the theater when it came out, and I've only seen a couple of other movies, maybe 6 times, including Ghostbusters: Answer the Call. My bad. Afterlife. I saw Answer the Call 5 times. 5 times. But anyway, she won't understand that emotional connection between these characters. And so I told her to start watching them, but she has such a full, busy schedule. As a 16-year-old, she's in a lot of extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
She just doesn't have time, but I want her to sit down at some point. I need to go through both the original series and Next Gen and just pick out pivotal episodes.
Yeah.
That she can watch. It still won't have the full impact. Because I mean, like right now we're going through and we're rewatching Next Gen. We're in season 4 now, aren't we?
Yeah. Yes.
Have we gotten into season 4? I can't remember. We're at the tail end of season 3 or the beginning of season 4. Either way, we're going through and rewatching it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reason why I can't remember is we put that on hold because we're
well, Discovery's fired back up again for this
Star Trek
season.
Discovery, which is such a fantastic show.
Yeah.
I've had people who love Star Trek like, why do you like Discovery? I'm like, how can you not? It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful show. It's I think it's well written.
A phenomenal cast.
Oh, love it. But then also this past week, Star Trek Picard picked back up.
Man,
we're not going to dive into it. Bo hasn't seen it yet. Some of you may have not seen it yet, but it's just like we said with the Batman. Watch Picard. That first episode is probably better than the entire first season.
Yeah,
and that first season was good.
Yeah. Oh, the first season was great, but this first episode of the second season, top notch.
Yeah, and it's so hard seeing Patrick Stewart at that age. I'm sorry.
It is. It's tough. Yeah.
He's what? He's 70s, right? He's in the 70s, correct?
Let me look up his.
Hang on, because I thought
he was 81.
I think he said he was 81.
He might be.
We were looking at that.
Let me. Patrick Stewart is 81.
Okay.
81 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's tough. That's a really tough one to comprehend.
Yeah.
Especially when you go back and you're revisiting Next Gen like we are and seeing him seeing him now. It's a shock to the system.
Well, that's like me, like you, that's how you associate him as that age always. Cause that's like me, like with me rewatching the X-Files, I always associate David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. It's the way they looked at their first 4 or 5 seasons. And now I've seen promo images for the later seasons they redid a couple years ago. I didn't get to watch them when they aired, but I'm like, wait, this isn't the same. Like it's just how your brain processes those actors. Yeah. But you got to remember they're human like the rest of us. We get old.
All right.
Exactly. If I'm not mistaken, Will Wheaton is the age Patrick Stewart was in Next Gen.
That's wild.
I'm sorry, what? Ensign Crusher?
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah, that's nuts. If you want something that put an age check on me really quickly, knowing that Will Wheaton is the same age as Wesley's now the same age as Picard
Yeah.
was in the first run.
Sorry, I didn't mean to double check with you, but like I said, you were talking about how your love for Generations. I have a special love for Generations also because Generations was the first Trek movie I saw like released in the theater. Like I was age enough to when it came out. Because like I got it.
I think that was for me too. I remember
Those were
going
the
to
first
see it with my dad.
That was the first one I seen like released weekend. Like, yes. Cause I mean, like, let's see, that was what, 95, 96?
It was 94.
94.
November
I remember seeing it.
1994.
I know, and like I said, because like let's see, 6 came out what 90. Undiscovered Country was 91. Okay,
90, 90, not I want to say 91.
Yeah, but yeah, like so that's it was around like the mid to late 80s when I got introduced to Star Trek, and like I said, around with Next Gen and the reruns of the original series on our. I don't know. I think it was channel 17 back in the day or 21, our local, whatever it was. So that's how I watch it. But like I said, Generations was the first movie I saw in release. Like this first Trek movie I saw when it came out, whatever, how you want to put it. It's release time. I saw it. My mom,
is the first one you ever saw in the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Your mom.
My mom graciously carried me to it. Like after I bugged her for it, so she was like a trooper and she took me to see it. So it was me and her and like 6 other people in the theater. But it was like I want to say it was like an odd day. We went like it was Sunday or something, and after church.
I vividly remember Mom and Dad, 2 people from the country. Don't ask me what they were doing, taking me to a Star Trek movie. But 1982, they took me to see Wrath of Khan in the theater.
Oh, that's awesome.
I saw it. I don't know if I can't remember if it was opening weekend. I was 82. I was 6 at the time. Yeah, they took me. I remember seeing it because I remembered vividly sitting in the college cinema in Enterprise, Alabama, sitting there in between Mom and Dad when Khan put that slug down into the helmet and it went into Chekhov's ear. And I was like, oh, I screamed in the theater. I remember Mom throwing her hand over my mouth. She goes, not real. So I have a vivid memory of that. So I know E.T. also came out that year. I'm trying to remember, and the months escape me. I don't know if I saw E.T. or Star Trek first in the theater, and that's my earliest memory of going to the theater was 1982. I don't recall them ever taking me to see any of the Star Wars movies because Star Wars came out in 77. I was only a year old then. Empire Strikes Back was 80. If I'm not mistaken. It was 1980.
Sounds right, yeah.
I don't remember if I saw that in the theater. Granted, I would have only been 3, 4, so I probably wouldn't remember. But I vividly remember seeing E.T. and Star Trek 2 in the theater with Mom and Dad. I remember that very well. But Star Trek and Batman are tied for my very first love, my very first fandom ever. Because I remember watching the old Batman TV series and seeing like the Scooby-Doo cartoon with Burt Ward and Adam West, and reading. I had some Batman comics as a kid, so. That, and I remember watching the original series of Star Trek, and then of course the Star Trek movies, like I said. So that Batman and Trek are my first true loves of everything. So I love everything Star Trek. I'm sorry. Don't
apologize.
The only series I haven't finished is Enterprise. I haven't finished Enterprise yet. I got started on it and got that came out when I was in college, and I just lost track. It's kind of like when I went to the Air Force, I lost track of everybody growing up on Power Rangers and Rugrats and Doug and stuff. I was getting to the military around that time, so I missed every bit of that. Those shows from that era.
Yeah, see, it's so weird. I have as much 90s nostalgia as I do 80s nostalgia because I was a big kid. I mean, I watched cartoons. I kept up watching cartoons until in my 20s. I still watch them now, but I mean, I was watching things that were aimed for kids way younger than me, so I have as much 90s nostalgia. So I know what you mean on that. I'm kind of weird on that, but I mean, I appreciate on that. That's I don't know. I hodgepodge of everything.
Yeah. Well, Trek lives on in this household.
Yeah.
Beautifully. Oh my gosh! And they're so did you see the packaging that they showed up? The packaging for the figures, the pre-release
Playmates,
the Playmates.
They are exactly like the old ones.
You want to talk about my heart just growing
Mm.
15 times in size,
Oh, it's so
with the
beautiful.
exception of that little 30th anniversary
Yeah.
emblem on the side, and they look to be the cards look to be a little bit wider.
Yep.
Boy, those look great. Those are not coming out of the packages.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
those will look nice on the wall. As I say, I've got a Scotty, something for the Scotty from his episode of Relics behind me somewhere. I don't know if you can dig it out.
I still live by one of those lines that he says, or he's referencing, well, you can, while he's telling Jordy, I believe, is you can do this so much faster. He's like, never tell them exactly how long it takes you to do something. Make them think you're a miracle worker.
Yep.
I still do that.
Yep.
Sometimes
Give what they need, not what they
work.
ask for.
Yeah, I still do that sometimes at work. I'm like, it may take me a little bit of time, but then I'll finish it early and like,
That, and of course, I always anytime somebody offers a drink, I think of Data. And when he asks, he says, "What is it?" This is green. It's green.
Which also harkens back to Generations when he takes it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is repulsive.
You want
one
some?
more? Yes, please.
Yes, please.
oh my heart. We got to go back and watch all the movies now.
Yeah.
So
well, that's what I'm hoping, to tie this in with us being on, next gen like we're doing right now, when in kind of fit the movies into our rewatching of next gen.
So you said you're in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? Let's see, I'm trying to think. Have y'all dealt with the whole issue with Romulus yet?
I don't think we're there yet. I think we're at the very beginning of season 4.
Okay, I'd say y'all should be getting there to that soon. You'll get to some of my favorite episodes in season 5 with Time Zero.
Oh, that's a great episode. Yeah. It's I saw all the original Next Generation episodes in first run when they aired in syndication.
Oh, nice.
I mean, Star Trek: The Next Generation, the finale, All Good Things, ended on the exact day that I graduated high school. I graduated from high school that morning. All Good Things came on that evening.
Oh, what did the party?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We all sat around at the house at my graduation party, and we watched All Good Things. I'm like, you guys are, if you're going to be here to celebrate, we're doing this because I got to say goodbye to my show.
So, man, season 6 and 7 were the ones I saw. Like, I got them when they aired, like we would record them if I couldn't watch them live. But like I said, that's what I did. I caught up in reruns from seasons 1 to 6, but then 6 and 7 were the two I watched when they aired. So yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I think we left off with season 4. Last one we watched was Brothers. That episode.
That's right.
Yeah, with Laura and Data and Dr. Nooney and Soong. Yeah, that whole episode there.
Yeah.
But we were talking when we were ending season. We were doing our rewatch and we watched the finale of season 3. But then was able to jump right into 4. And I was like, see, it's like, can you think back to when that first aired and you had that long wait between
season 3 was the what is it? The Borg.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't think of the name of the episode. That's terrible. I can't remember.
The Best of Both Worlds.
Best of Both Worlds. Oh man, yeah.
And that's another reason I have to show my daughter the run of Next Gen through that time, because she's going to get to Star Trek First Contact and be like, what's so significant about this?
Yeah.
And it's just it's no secret for the season of Picard, the Borg Queens there. The
Borg's been all over there
have been pictures all over social media. If we spoiled it for you, I'm sorry. The Borg showing up again. I mean, they were in the first season, but the Borg Queens in season 2, and it's not Alice Krega, however you pronounce her name. But she's still the queen. Looks, I mean, she died anyway. That version of the Borg Queen.
Yeah.
But this queen looks great too. But my daughter wouldn't understand the significance of why is Picard so in tune with the Borg? Well, sit right down and watch these 2 episodes.
Yep.
But man, I could talk about Star Trek all day.
Yeah, I'd say that. Hey, there's one of those bonus episodes ideas.
You got it.
We can ramble about Trek one evening.
We have to. Absolutely have to.